Hello and welcome to Law and Order SVU here on FANVERSATION. I am Yael Tygiel. That's Taylor Gates. We have returned. Hi, Taylor.
Hello.
Hello. I appreciate that your background matches our background.
Yes.
Amazing. Welcome back, everybody. This is season 26, episode 2, Excavation. If you're I don't know where to start. First of all, I apologize for the delay on this season. This is, I would say, 100% my fault. I will take
95.
All right, I will take most of the blame for that, but we have decided to catch up on the season this week. So we will be here daily until we finish the first half of the season that has already aired, every day at the same time, except for tomorrow, which is at a different time. And the other days may move as needed, but every day there's a new episode of Law and Order SVU.
You've heard of 12 Days of Christmas. Now it's time for 7 days of SVU.
Better.
I'm just saying.
It's so much better.
It's on theme.
Fine, I'll allow it. Okay, before we jump in, this is SVU. So please, if you find yourself in a situation where you need help, please reach out to RAINN. Their number is 1-800-656-4673, 1-800-656-4673. Taylor, what does that spell?
It spells hope.
It does spell hope. I thought about making you say the number.
No.
Okay. I'm glad I didn't.
Would have to Google that really fast.
Yes, please reach out to RAINN if you need them. Also, it's the season of giving, and if you're in the mood to give to an organization, RAINN is a good one to give to. We are not sponsored by RAINN. We just are supportive.
I don't know that they do that.
I don't think they should.
Yeah.
Also, if this is your first time with SVU, what a weird time to jump in, but hello. Consider this your content warning. I guarantee I say something that pisses people off with today's episode. SVU does handle very serious, very real issues and does delve into the dark. And we on SVU don't. We are very silly and light, and we do not make light of serious things, but we do say things that may be offensive. And so consider this your content warning. Yes, I did the thing.
Yep.
Great. It's been a long time. I forgot how this works. Here is the quick cut for this episode, season 26, episode 2. God, I'm so sorry how late we are. Devastating repressed memories come back to a woman when she finds an old notebook of her in her family home. Bringing charges in a decade-old crime proves more difficult for Creasy when a powerful judge stalls the case. Taylor, I have a feeling I know. Did you like this episode?
It was fine. It was fine. I feel like we've seen it a bunch. You know what I mean? We're just recycling and combining different elements at this point.
I agree. I will say this felt like a classic old school episode, but I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of reactions. While writing my notes, I almost used very many emojis as my reactions to a lot of things. I guarantee I go on quite a few soapboxes today. But I actually really enjoyed this episode.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
Ooh, Alexa in the chat says the episode should have been called Amalgam. Honestly, I'm with you. I agree. I like that one. Also, thank you so much to people who are in our live chat. I love that you're here with us. Deanna, Alexa, thank you for being here. We'll be here all week. Okay, I want to start with the bartender because this pissed me off so much. I have to get on the soapbox. Okay, so she comes in for a drink, and the bartender was like, "You said if you come in to give you this," and he gives her a chip. And he's like, "You've been sober, reminding you, here is your chip." And she's like, "Just give me the drink." And I was like, "Okay, fine. He did his duty. He's running a business. I totally get it. But then the drink is free. So not only did you fuck up her sobriety, but you also didn't do it for your business.
I mean, the drink was only free because like stuff went down and the sister came and she was clearly more distressed. I don't know. I thought he was a nice guy and I liked the bartender.
Okay, so he should have not given her the drink.
But what is he to do? Not serve her? She's just gonna go somewhere else.
Try talking to her. Also, this is, I think, really fun. I have to give a shout out. The actor played the bartender was named Zach Gold. Friends, I was like, I know this guy. I was in a short film with him in 2015.
That is wild.
Yeah, I was like, why do I know this guy's face? Hilarious. Anyway, so Zach Gold is the bartender. I like lost it for that scene because I was like, no, man, don't give her a drink. And then I was like, fine, it's your business. I get it. Like, you're making money, whatever. And then it's free. No, fuck you, dude. You fucked up her sobriety and you didn't make any money. I got mad.
I don't agree. Because it wasn't about that. It was just about like, what am I gonna do? Just like refuse to serve her?
Yes.
Like, okay, I don't know how well they know each other. Like,
Deanna says, give her a coffee, maybe.
I guess.
Anyway, sorry.
I would have done this. Like, I wouldn't know what I would have done. Like,
you wouldn't have charged her. You would have charged her, right? If it was your business.
The money is like not an important part of this to me at all. I'm gonna be so honest.
That's where I got mad.
No.
Okay. Anyway, we then get her to, she gets the diary. He writes about it. She goes and whatever. Carisi asks the most important question this episode, which was, why would he write this shit down? And I appreciate that he asked that. And I love the way that it all tied in at the end. That like, he wouldn't write it down.
Yeah, those twists were interesting. I'll give it that.
I honestly, I really liked this. I like him looking through my notes and I'm like, this is so silly and fun. Which is an awful thing to say with the story.
Well,
entertainment. Yeah. Honestly, I just want to talk about the like defense that he was a writer.
I loved that. I loved it when they grilled him about, well, did you finish the book? Did you write a chapter? Did you write a page? I was like, if anyone asked me that question, I would be like, okay, slow down. Now slow down now. Because rude. Because sometimes I have writer's block and I don't be writing like I should. And they really ate this guy up in that regard.
I have actually said in the last week, like, oh, I had, you know, as people know, I'm really into romance right now. And I started writing some romance and someone was like, oh, how's your book going? And I went, well, I went to sit down and write it, but writing is hard and it's easier to just read. So
yeah.
So I get it. He never got past the outline stage. Yeah, I have a book. The outline is done.
Yeah.
And now I'm reading instead.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. The just his defense is that he's a writer is so funny. But then I appreciated that we found the DNA on the nightgown. I mean, it was gross, but then we got the laundry defense, which was used in a previous episode as well. I do like that was used again.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give some actor shout outs because everybody was so good in this episode. So our judge Andrews is Brett Cullen. Maggie was played by Johanna Brady,
which, if you've watched Unreal, she plays Anna in season 1. I was like, why do I know this girl? Like, she's so familiar. And then I IMDb'd it and I was like, oh my god, it's Anna.
Amazing. The mother, Dr. Andrews, Dr. Lillian Andrews, is played by Jessica Tuck. Stellar performance.
Ridiculous character.
Oh my god, there was I'll wait for best lines. Just her performance was so good. The judge's attorney was played by Mark Moses. His other attorney, the woman attorney, was played by JD Brookshire. Peyton, so the sister, the half sister, was played by Joanna Wicker, and the brother, Ryan Wellington. Here is my question. They're twins?
I guess. I don't know. I didn't really catch that. I just know they're both younger.
So I thought that so before we like met everybody and learned everything, I thought that Peyton was the older sister.
Yeah, me too. And then they're like, they're both younger. I was like, oh.
But also then when they were like, well, she was 8, I was 4. They both were the same age when this is allegedly happened. I went, so they're twins?
I guess. Or like, what is it? What do they call it when you're like almost like
Irish
twins. Year apart? Yeah.
Which someone should do research because I'm pretty sure that's an offensive term.
Oh, 100%. But I just know it's a term.
Yeah, so I just wanted to give some actor shout outs because some of the performances were amazing. Especially the scene where we had Maggie and Benson pouring out the booze and like talking about the way that trauma manifests and memories and all of that. That was a really great scene.
Yeah.
There was I'm like looking through my notes because I only watched this episode once, guys. I'm sorry. This week is going to be all just one-time watches. Dan in the chat says mood boards and outlines are always easier. Yes. Yeah. Writing is hard. That's why I talk. Benson has this line, never in my career have I seen so much physical evidence so congruent with the perpetrator's own written word. And I find that beautiful.
Yeah.
Honestly, the case of this episode was well done and well executed in a way that I feel like we've been complaining we haven't had in a while.
Yeah, I agree. It was solid.
Yes.
I just feel like I've seen most of it before.
Yes, know? It felt like a classic, like, yes, I like this.
And it was kind of like making him the judge. They kind of really didn't change that much. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Having the stepdad be like this powerful judge, I feel like I didn't really feel that. Like we have to be really careful with it. Like we kind of did, but I didn't really feel like it was like that important. I kind of feel like it would have been almost the same if he wasn't, you know what I mean? Just some powerful guy. We just like always have these judges, like constantly we have these judges doing stuff, and I just kind of feel like it wasn't that necessary in this one, you know?
I do. I feel like the idea was to give Carisi like some tension because, and this is based just on like very little information. I'm pretty sure I could speak for both of us. We have not seen the episodes after this one. I have not watched ahead, but I think that this season is pretty big for Carisi. And so I think that that's what it's setting up as opposed to the judge being as powerful because he's also retired.
I guess I just wish I liked Carisi as a lawyer more than.
That's fair. He did look.
Bores me. I'm bored.
Some of my biggest complaints are always when we're at trial and they miss a very obvious question. And I will say that I felt like Carisi asked the right questions this time. For example, when the judge's defense was that he wrote what he knows and that it was inspired by cases that he was dealing with and blah, blah, blah. And Carisi was like, okay, so this was inspired by your real life, but but you didn't draw from any of the actual cases that you were dealing with.
And they're like, so you just wrote about this one and you literally didn't try any other ones, which I thought was smart too.
It was so smart. And it's something that 100% watching you go, wait, what? Explain this. So I do appreciate that. Alexa confirms this is Carisi's season. And Deanna says, I wish I liked Carisi too. Look, I want Creasy to pull out Barba moments in the courtroom if he's going to be in the courtroom. That's what I want.
He's
Otherwise,
not messy enough. Sorry. When I had Casey Novak doing crazy shit every week, I don't want to watch Carisi follow the rules.
you make an excellent point.
Or I've seen Barba just like rip people apart and be sassy as hell. Like, and Carisi's not doing that. Not as often as he should be for my liking.
Deanna says he needs to stop acting like a cop. I'll tell you this, I don't think he does act. I think he doesn't act like a cop or a good DA. Like,
he's just some guy.
He's just some guy, because when there are times where the team will bring him something and he'll be like, well, do it like the girl, like we can't prosecute, we can't trust her memory. And I'm like, you used to be one of this team. You know how this works.
Yeah.
Alexa in the chat says, for a while, I doubted the victim's memories. How dare.
You know what I thought, actually? I thought it was going to be that it happened to like the sister. And she like thought it happened to her, but it turned out to be the little sister or something. That's really what I thought they were going to do. They were going to pull like, oh, she witnessed it happening, because her and her sister were like so important and like set up from the beginning to be important. So I really thought that either she was like going to do it because her sister couldn't testify, so she was going to like put herself through that, or she was like misremembering it and it was like one of her siblings that it happened to.
I also had that thought, that it was going to be the sister. I thought that would have been an interesting twist. But that kind of reminds me of, was it Something Happened?
Maybe, who knows? Because that episode, I couldn't tell you one thing about it. Just the title is stupid.
What an awful episode.
Something happened. Sure did.
No shit.
Every piece of television that is on, hopefully. Yeah.
That's my fear when I write, is that you'll read it and go, nothing happened.
It's always something happened. Like, you know? I can't.
Alexa said that she was influenced by the journal, like in Repressed. Yeah, I also had that thought, and I was like, if we do that again, I'm gonna be so annoyed. Old episode. Okay. So when the judge was on the trial and he threw his wife under the bus, and she was like, yeah, my wife, I wrote, what a shitty mom, and the son knows it. And then it gets even worse. The mom was
awful.
So much shittier. Friends. I'm gonna go on. I like literally have my note. Get on your soapbox here. Let me talk to you about this mom. So we're going to put aside, this is going to be a weird sentence. We're going to put aside that she's like, it was an inappropriate seduction from an 8-year-old. We're going to put that aside. Her answer to, why didn't you go to the police the first time? She says, and be left alone with 3 children this time. I did what was best. I did what was best for my children. Okay. I know that I don't have children. I know that I'm not a parent, but I'm going to say something here. When you have children and choose to raise them, there is a chance that you will be stuck with them alone at home, taking care of them all the time. So the idea that she was not going to put her abusive, disgusting husband in jail because she did not want to be alone, because she couldn't deal with that. You made the choice to have 3 children. He could die, right? Like, he could die and you would be left alone. That is a choice and something you have to think about when you choose to have children. It was something that happened a lot during the pandemic. People started freaking out about the fact that now their children had to be home while they were trying to work. And they were like, how am I supposed to do with this? And that's why a lot of people were pushing for schools to be open and stuff so that they could put their kids elsewhere. But when you had a child, there was always a chance that child had to be home all the time, right? Like there are different reasons that a child can't go to school. That is a chance that you have to take and a choice you have to decide and agree to when you bring a life into this world and decide to keep it. So when she was like, I would have been alone with 3 kids, I was like, yeah, this was a choice you made. That's all.
Also, you're like a doctor.
A wealthy
hire
doctor.
help. Hire help. You're a fucking doctor.
She's also wealthy, and let's say
you make enough money to hire help,
and you got him arrested and he left you or went to jail or whatever. Yeah, take his money.
Exactly.
Very annoying. I do appreciate though, after she like admitted everything, that the judge like gave up. He was like, well, there's nothing to do now. I've been caught.
Yeah.
I do like that. I feel like that never happens. They never
there
just
not
give up.
the like spousal confidentiality thing though?
So, yes, there is spousal privilege, which means that they cannot force her to testify. She can choose to. Right? It's like a lawyer, a doctor, or a clergy member, is that you cannot compel them to speak.
Yeah.
But they can choose to.
Why would she do that?
Because they realize that she was that she could have been an accomplice in theory.
Right. But like, I don't know. I would have shut my mouth personally.
And let him get away with it?
Well, she already did that.
That's true.
Why? What changed? She did that for years and years.
That's true. Her sitting there and revealing all this stuff.
Insane. Who the hell is doing that? This bitch. This crazy bitch.
Alexa in the chat says, FYI, Officer Gomez was in this episode. I'm going to say something. Who?
Is that the one from last season?
Hold on. I'm looking through the... Oh, yeah, I guess so. The one who like, was there that one time and was weird?
Have lines?
I think she, like, told her that she was going to wait to see someone when Maggie walked in.
Okay.
Alexa says yes. Thanks, Alexa.
Okay.
I'm assuming this means she's going to do more and we're going to see her again. But I was like, okay, who? That's what the show does, is they introduce this character.
Yeah.
And then they disappear.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not the girl who joined the team. That's Silva.
Yeah.
Silva, who is now part of the team.
But not in this episode, I guess.
She was there.
Barely. Not memorable.
I appreciated the way that the team split in this episode, in that Finn got to tell the judge. And Bruno was stuck with the mob. That was great.
Yeah.
Okay, and then at the end of the episode, Maggie's gonna be okay, and all I could think was, tell me she's getting help, right? Like,
that
she's
was
gonna be okay.
So like filler, easy, like wrapping up in a neat little bow. That was so unnecessary to me, because I was like, how do you know that? First of all, second of all, you say that about everybody, even though sometimes it's not true. Okay.
She's only going to be okay if she is now getting help, right? Like, we know that she has addiction issues, and that is about her dealing with this trauma. Then let's help her get help for the trauma.
Yeah.
Danny in the chat says, anyone else getting season 3 episode 1 vibes, like little titled Repression? Yes, definitely remember Repression. Definitely felt similar to that. There was a 50-50 shot that's where we were going. Okay, I guess when it comes to best lines, I like struggle, because none of the lines, in my opinion, were like good, but they did give me reactions. For example, when the judge said, ugh, I like wanted to throw up. He said, I wanted to know how it felt, innocence. I wanted to throw up. That's the
I
most,
guess you'll never know.
yeah, it was disgusting.
Okay. But we've also had people say shit like that before, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, but when you literally think about that moment and
No,
the
I know.
horror.
I'm just saying we've heard like that line before, I feel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only other thing that like really stood out was the performance, and I'm again giving this amazing shout out to Jessica Tuck, who played Dr. Lillian Andrews, when they're like, does your husband know you're here? And she shouts, of course he does, we tell each other everything.
Everything.
I loved it. All right, hit me with the lines because I got nothing else.
This was a throwaway, but I found it hilarious, even though it was like kind of dark. The guy got caught licking the foot of some kid at a West Side Play area. Like, I think they just threw that in for funsies, and I kind of appreciated that.
I was like, I want to see that case.
Yeah, where's the
that
licking the foot case? You don't try to whack a guy like Judge Andrews unless you have enough to do it in broad daylight. I did like that. You're familiar with the book Lolita? Yes. And then the judge, when he was talking about bail, he said, I'm splitting the baby, which I thought was a fun little reference.
I feel like they've definitely said that. The judges have said that so many times on this show.
I like it.
And honestly, I would love it if somebody felt the need to go and count how many times that I'm splitting the baby has been said.
Those are the ones I liked.
Good lines. I will say the Lolita thing made me laugh because somebody
Lolita.
So somebody wrote a like sequel, air quotes on that for those listening to the audio version of the podcast, of Lolita. For those who don't know, I was obsessed with that book growing up, and read it and had seen all of the 2 variations of the movies and was like obsessed with it. So there was a sequel written that somebody claimed, the like author of the sequel claimed that they were the son of the fictional character Humbert, not Nabokov, and was telling the story about how he wrote his journal that then got turned into Lolita, and that like it was all based on reality, like all this awful stuff. So like them being like that was a work of fiction, I was like, not according to this one book that claims that it was all real.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Fun facts.
No, I love it. It's a little fun fact.
Speaking of fun facts, oh no, not what did we learn? First, it's shower thoughts. For our friends who are listening in the shower, I know I usually get quiet, but I actually need you all to hear this one because I'm doing it on the podcast. Mara, who came and did an episode with us and listens to our show in the shower, Mara, if you could please call me. I have not heard from you in months, and I would like you to call me. I'm on the verge of getting worried. Please call me. I'm using our podcast to send out this message.
I love it.
To Mara.
Mara, call her.
Yeah, please. I was like, am I doing this every day of this week? Every episode we're doing a Mara call me?
Everyone in the comments, tell Mara to call Yael.
Yeah, please. But that was my shower thought. Also, I already did my soapbox about parenting and about like choices. So you got any shower thoughts?
No, I think you covered it great.
Mara,
call Yael.
Please call me. Thank you. What did we learn? You got
that Lolita was maybe based on a real thing according to the sequel author.
Yeah.
Did I learn anything else? Well, this isn't something I learned, but something that I thought was interesting to point out was on the stand when, what's her name? What was the main girl's name?
Maggie.
Forgot. Maggie, right? Not Maddie. That was last season. When she was like, they were like, so you don't remember any of this? And she was like, my body remembers. This I think is really interesting because I feel like that's a huge thing right now. Not thing, but I feel like like Body Keeps the Score is such like a popular book, and in therapy you learn how connected your body is to like your mind and your memories. And so I thought the fact she pointed that out was really interesting. And obviously they discredited that and discredited her, and I think it is, not in this case but objectively, a very interesting conversation with a lot of gray area about like the reality and sort of how your body processes things. So I thought that was an interesting line to write and an interesting point to bring up. And I kind of wish we delved into that a little bit more.
Absolutely. I also clocked that line and was like, oh yes, like yes, there are times the show has shown us through 26 seasons that whether your mind remembers or not, your body probably does. And there are lots and lots of examples of different characters who end up with an addiction problem or end up, doing harmful behavior and do not know why. And what I learned in this episode, I guess not learned, but was reminded that trauma manifests in a lot of fucked up ways, and not just with your body remembering, but the scene again where Benson and Maggie are pouring out the booze, and she talks about how she then convinced herself that she had a crush on him, and that is how your mind protects itself, right? It tries to give you back that control, and that is a very understandable behavior that happens. And honestly, like, I love when the show teaches us that and reminds us of that, especially because, we talk a lot about how SVU is, yes, 1, propaganda, 2, entertainment, and 3, a place for survivors to feel seen and learn and see that they're not alone. And so I appreciate that the show does that, and I would love even more of that, to learn more about, because some people, their response is addiction, and some people it is hypersexuality, and some people it is the opposite and become completely shut down. I think that there's just so many different ways that trauma manifests that I like that we are exploring and learning those, and I want more of that this season. Deanna in the chat asks a question that I'm prepared to answer. Are you planning to watch the Law and Order episode where Liv makes a cameo? Well, so I watched the show DVR'd, unlike Taylor, who watches it where?
Peacock.
That's what I thought. So I got to see the tail end of the episode because I set it to record a minute so I don't miss the first minute, and see that Benson was on it, and went, oh shit, well, I didn't know that. So no, we will not be, none of us watch The Mothership. Felicia does, but I think she's behind on all of the SVU or all of the Law and Orders. And now that criminal, organized crime, whatever, Stabler's show is on Peacock and no longer on NBC, although I gave up on it, I will definitely not be watching it now that it's on Peacock. So sorry, friends, you are obligated to tell us what we miss.
That's your guys' homework. Congrats.
Look, this is the S Review podcast. We talk about SVU here. If it happens on a different show and it's not airing back to back and telling me ahead of time that it's a crossover, we're probably not watching it. I'm so sorry.
Fair.
Alexa in the chat says the entire squad was in the courtroom almost every day. I did notice that they were all in the courtroom. And I was like, that seems odd. Aren't there other cases like the footlicker?
Yeah, show me that.
Show me the footlicker.
Please. Why did that happen?
Show me the footlicker.
Show me the footlicker right now.
I think, wow, is that all I have to say? Is that all we have to say about this episode?
Probably.
I guess so. I feel like, I've missed you guys. I'm glad to be back. We're here all week. Tomorrow we're doing episode 3. I have no idea what it's about. I didn't even watch the next week on, which I usually do. So I'm very excited.
A little bit surprised.
I'm really excited to go into every episode blind this season, this half season. When we come back in the new year, we will resume our regular programming unless I'm traveling again.
Yeah.
Right?
Unless I'm traveling too, yeah.
Okay. Because I do miss doing this every week.
Yes, same.
Okay. I mean, on that note, we liked this episode. We
Yeah,
didn't not
that's
like it.
fine. No, it was solid. It was all
Yes.
right.
Yes. I think the performances were the best part.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, on that note, thank you to everyone who is live in our chat. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming back. We will be back tomorrow, an hour and a half later. And because I don't remember what time zones are. So just know that. Until tomorrow, Taylor, where are
Yes.
you on the internet? And what have you been up to?
Well, I'm on Twitter still at alpha_Ann. I'm on Instagram at Taylor_Gaze_. I'm still writing stuff for Collider. I'm moderating some interviews and such, so you can find that pretty much all on my social media or collider.com. And that's where you can find me.
Amazing. I am Yael Tygiel. I am only on Instagram at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. You can see things I wrote on Collider, but more importantly, you can find my Bookstagram where I talk about spicy, smutty romance. Some of the things I read very much should be SVU cases, but in the romance world, they try to convince you that it's okay.
It's a love.
But it's not. It's not okay. That doesn't mean I didn't enjoy reading it. That is at Good Little Library Mouse on Instagram or fanversation.com/books. Until tomorrow, thanks for joining us. Bye, everybody.